Hi Stampers, it's Judi Anderson with JudiStamps.com bringing you another card this week. This is the card that we're going to be making today. Isn't it fun, exciting, and it just kind of makes you happy, doesn't it? Puts a big smile on your face, the colors. We are going to be combining a new stamp set out of the new annual catalog. It's Build a Birthday. This is such a fun set. You can do so many different things with this image that are found in the stamp set, and we're going to pair that up today with the kind of eclectic stamp set. Love the images in here too. These are so versatile. Hi Stampers, it's Judi Anderson with JudiStamps.com bringing you another card this week. And this week's card is this fun, put a smile on your face card is what I call it, birthday card, using one of our new stamp sets out of our new annual catalog that just was released last month. The stamp set that we're going to be using is the Build a Birthday. Isn't it fun? Look at these fun images. I'm sure that you can think of a lot of things to do with these images. And we're pairing that up with an oldie from the last year's catalog called Kind of Eclectic. Many of you have this stamp set and have used it in so many different ways, and I'm just so happy that you share with me by sending me pictures of cards that you've made from videos that I've inspired you to create. We're also going to be using the Hexagon Hive Thinlit die and a new product from the catalog, and this is our triple banner punch. So much fun. You can make banners from 1 inch to 1.5 inches up to 2 inches, evenly making those tails, which I know you all just love. Okay, we are going to be using a piece of 5.5 by 8.5 piece of Sahara sand scored down the center and folded in half for our card base. A piece of 4.25 by 5.5 Whisper White, a scrap Whisper White, and then a piece of Sahara sand that measures 1 inch by 6.25. We're going to start out with this one piece, and we're going to get our triple banner punch out and just slide this in the groove that it fits into. Slip it in, punch it. Look at that, a perfect tail, exciting. But we're going to use a two-tailed banner for this card and set that to the side. We're going to take our Happy Birthday and the Early Espresso ink pad. We're going to stamp up birthday wishes in this center, or well, not really in the center. I'm going to kind of offset it a little bit to the left. Press down evenly and up. Look at that. I love this font, don't you? Okay, we're going to get out our Simply Score tool, and we are going to score this in 2 spots. I'm going to do this first score line at 1.25 and the next one at 1 inch. I'm going to turn it around and once again score at 1 inch and 1.25. And you'll notice when I scored this, the birthday is closer to this side and the wishes is farther away, and there's a reason for that. We're going to be adding some pearls to this. While we have that out, we are going to adhere a couple of dimensionals to the back. We're not going to open them up yet, and we're just going to set that piece to the side. Okay, now we're going to grab our Hexagon Hive Thinlit, and I don't know if you know the difference between our Thinlit and our Framelits. Our Thinlits are designed not to necessarily go with a particular stamp set, or Framelits are designed to go with a stamp set and cut around that image so that we don't have to fussy cut. I hate to tell you though, you're going to do some fussy cutting with this card today. Okay, we're going to get out our magnetic platform. We're going to put a base down, our plate, then we're going to put our Whisper White, and then our secret ingredient today is wax paper. That makes all our pieces coming out easier. Then we're going to lay down our Thinlit, and you'll notice that our piece of paper is quite a bit bigger, but that's okay. That's the way I wanted it. And we're going to set the top plate on top. Okay, I'm going to take this to my Big Shot, and I'm going to crank it through. And since I have limited space on here, I'm cranking it back through to me. My camera's set up in front of the big shot. Okay, I'm going to remove our top plate, and I just put it to the bottom and pick up our Thinlit. See how easy that comes apart? We're going to punch out all these little pieces and just set our Thinlit to the side. Now don't throw away those pieces because we are going to be stamping on them and using them. This card was actually inspired by a quilt that I inherited when my grandmother passed away. And it just reminded me of quilts besides a beehive. And you all know I love bees. Okay, let's get those rest of those pieces off because we're going to need to use them. You can tell my cutting plates have been well used. They're loved. Make sure you have the wax off of that. Make sure you get all the wax off of these little pieces also. We are going to need 9 or 10 whole pieces for this card, and then a couple of the pieces that aren't whole, like these cut off pieces, are good for the edges. And you can stamp up as many of these as you want. Okay, and we're just going to get our garbage out of the way. Okay. The colors we're going to be using on this card are the Pool Party, the Watermelon Wonder, the Mint Macaron, and the Crushed Curry. We're going to take 3 of these out and grab our striped image from the Build-A-Birthday into our Soft Sky ink pad, and then stamp on each of these twice. It doesn't matter if your lines are lined up or if you have some gaps. That adds to the interest of the card, giving it a little bit of dimension and pattern design. Okay, you see I did each one of those a little bit different. I'm not worried about that it's not covered up completely. We'll set that to the side and grab our Watermelon Wonder. This is one of the new in colors from 2015 and 2017. It's one of my favorite colors. And my pad is really, really juicy. And I know that I've told you not to wipe your stamps on your pad, but with this one I almost have to, because the detail in this stamp is a bunch of little polka dots, and it seemed that if I didn't kind of wipe it a little bit, I didn't get that detail. Once again, we're going to stamp onto these twice. I didn't get that one quite right, but that's okay. And I've got ink on my stamping mat because I didn't put my stamping paper underneath, but I'll have to wipe this off so we don't get ink all over everything. And I'm going to do one of these edge ones also. Okay, so that is that one. Let me wipe this off a little bit because this Watermelon Wonder will get over everything. You think I take time out, but I'm not going to. Now the next 3, we're going to stamp with the Mint Macaron, and I am taking one of this image out of the kind of Eclectic stamp set, and I'm going to ink it. And this image covers pretty well. You might find that you need to do 1 polka dot more if you've got a lot of white space, but just depending, that one I'm not going to do again. Just depends on, oops, that one I am. It doesn't have to be perfect. We'll stamp another one of those. Okay, clean our stamp off, move those to the side, and clean off our stamp pad a little bit. Let me just take a little bit of stamp cleaner to my mat, just so I don't get ink all over my card. Okay, and then we are going to take our all-purpose adhesive and dab some of these on here. Now you're going to want to decide which way you want this on. It doesn't matter if it goes up this way or this way. On this one I'm going to have the 2 that are joined up here together at the top. Let me get this started. You know it's going to burst out. I didn't close my lid right away the last time I used it, and that's one of the bad points of that. So hang on, let me just clean the tip of this a little bit. Okay, let's get started. That should do it. Oh, yes, it did it. I can pick up some of that and use it on some of these other spots. And once again, you just need just very little bit of this on each one of these. Okay, we are going to start placing these onto here. And this can be in any pattern you want it to be. I'm going to put our watermelon up here, and then we'll do a stripe here. And there's no rhyme or reason to this. Just line it up with the sides of the octagon, and you'll notice that it makes a little bit of a pattern on the or a border on the outside, which I just love. You know, I don't know if you sew or not at all, but when you sew, those are the hard parts to do, is all those borders on your quilts. It's painstakingly. It takes me a long time. That's why I don't do a lot of quilts. I have made some for my grandbabies that are special just for them, but they do take a lot of time. This is a lot easier quilting for you. Oops, I need a little bit more glue up here. Oops. Dab that up there. And don't worry about if you go over the edge. We're going to be trimming that off. That's why we are actually doing this before we adhere the Thinlit down to our card. Okay, let's get one of these over here. I'll go ahead and put this one here. You're not going to see it because of our banner. Okay, then I'm going to take my scissors, my paper snips, and I'm going to snip off along the edges. Just following the outside of your Thinlit. Okay, I'm going to take this one that way. This one I'm going to do upside down. Okay, and I'm going to add that one to the bottom here. And I'll have to trim off 2 corners on that one. Okay, like I said, don't worry. I know, because I've done this card already, that I don't need to cover all of them up. Here, we will take this one. Since I already have glue on here and I have an extra one, I'll go ahead and put that there. Okay, so that's, look at that. Isn't that fun? It already makes me happy. Puts a smile on your face. Grab your card base now, and you will take your adhesive and put some on the back of your card, making sure you get some of these corners that are just part of the frame. Otherwise, if you just get some of these octagons that are close to the edge, it adheres fine. Okay, like I said, I decided I wanted the 2 to be at the top, and I forgot a step. So we are going to just kind of hold this over and not adhere it down yet. We are going to mark right there with our finger, and I'm going to hold it there. No mistakes in stamping. I just forgot a step. So this is how if you forget the step when you're making this card, this is what you can do. We're going to take the sun image out of the kind of Eclectic stamp set, and on these bigger images like this, I want to make sure I get enough ink on the center of it, so I actually put my stamp down and tap my stamp pad on top, and that's where I'm going to want the center of this sun. So I'm going to stamp it right there. It doesn't have to be exactly centered. I like it with the rays being out a little bit. Look at that. Oh, so much fun. So much fun. Okay. Now you get to adhere your Thinlit onto your card, and see how that sun just seems to be peeking behind the window. That little layer that alone makes me excited. Now we're going to stamp our candles. And I just have a piece of scrap paper here. And we're going to take the stamps that we have already used on those little octagons, because I like to repeat pattern in my cards sometimes, and this is a good way to do it. Ink up your stamp, stamp it down. That was Soft Sky for the stripes. For the polka dots, we're doing the Watermelon Wonder. Okay, we'll stamp that here. Nice and dark solid image there. Then we're taking our Mint Macaron, and one of the other stamps in the Build a Birthday is this one. And once again, my Mint Macaron is quite juicy, so I don't want to see those bubbles on there. That's because there's so much ink in this pad, and I haven't even inked it up, and I have used it a ton already, and it just seems like there's so much ink. So I'm going to go ahead and swipe it. I'm going to do this one this way, so I have room for my flame on top. There we go. Then you get this little flame, and with the crushed curry, the same color we used for our sun, I don't think I told you that, we're going to put a flame on the top of all our candles, and then we're going to fussy cut these. So I'm going to fussy cut these and be right back. Okay, there we go. They're all cut out. Didn't take me long at all. We just get spoiled with all the punches and framelits that we've come out with that we don't like to fussy cut anymore. It's a good thing to do in front of the TV, or if you're going on vacation this summer, stamp some images that you know that you're going to be fussy cutting, and do that while you're traveling. Okay, and then I'm going to take our white gel pen and just dab a little stitch line around the back of our banner, all the way around the edges. And this would actually be easier to do before you put those dimensionals on. I just forgot. I'm in one of those forgetful states of mind today. I don't know why, but it just seems I went to the store earlier and forgot the thing that I went to the store for. And I'm sure you guys don't ever do that, do you? Okay, that was quick and easy. We're going to put our card together now. And our base is here. Okay, we're going to fold over our banner, our little tails, just like that, 3D, and remove our dimensional little film so that it becomes sticky. And if you place your dimensionals correctly, you'll get a little bit of adhesive underneath these flaps, so those will hold the flaps so you don't have to worry about where it lands. And we're going to put this one right here. Tuck those tails in and just make sure it's straight and down. Don't be skimpy on those dimensionals, you guys. Those hold your card together. Okay, now we want to do our candles also in dimension, but for the flames, you want to make sure you put a Stampin' Dimensional behind the flame, but the flame is kind of little for our dimensionals. Our dimensionals will be peeking out the back, so I just trim off one of the little bit of the edges there and put one on the back of each of the flames, 2 and 3, and then we're going to place a couple on the bodies. And I'm placing them towards the top because the bottoms are going to be tucking underneath the banner. I am going to place the center one, which is my Watermelon Wonder one, first. And I'm going to be placing it, tucking it under, and I want to place it so that it tucks so it looks like the flame is shining out. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Oh, you know, the colors, I just love our new in colors. They go with so many of our standard, our base colors in the catalog, and just add pop to them. There we go, we're placing that one, and then the mint macaron one on this side. This one we're going to have a really big candle there. Look at that, isn't that fun? Okay, just so much fun. Now we're going to add a little bit more to this. On our birthday wishes, I'm going to add 3 of our jewel, our basic pearls. And these along this side are connected. So I'm going to cut 3 of them away and just slide my scissors underneath there so I get the adhesive with them. And remember I told you there was a little bit of space there? Well, there was a reason after the wishes. Those 3 little pearls. See that? Now we want our candle flames to be a little bit sparklier. So we're taking our dazzling details and just squirting some out and wiping it over so that they shine brightly. This is a fun birthday card for any age and any sex. Yep. Even a masculine card, I think. If you change the color, you could change the colors to some deeper colors. Even red, white, and blue for the 4th of July instead of birthday wishes. Or if somebody has a birthday on the 4th of July, this would be a great birthday card for them if you did it in red, white, and blues instead. Well, that's our card for today. I want to show you another one I did. Instead of using Sahara sand, I actually used crumb cake. And so this is the difference. I love using some of the neutrals as card bases like this. Instead of a color, you could use one of the colors that you chose for your card. It would look great with those too, but I don't know how the sun would shine as much. And I didn't want to just do a white base with this. I think that the Sahara sand and the crumb cake work great for this card. So I'm anxious to hear what you do with your Hexagon Hive Thinlit die, and shoot me an email or even post a comment and a picture of yours. I would be more than happy to post it on my blog and share it with others also. Until next time, happy stamping.